Hello everyone, it's Precious Pioneer and welcome back to my channel, the channel where we talk about food and entrepreneurship and kindness and kind of everything far and in between. This episode is really special because it's highlighting the hospitality managers out there, especially with everything going on. Our industry has been really impacted with the coronavirus and everything, and I specialize in restaurants as a chef and restaurant management, but I do have a bachelor's degree in hospitality management, and so I definitely know my way around events and hotels and everything like that. And so I really wanted to give some really good tips for new just graduating hospitality managers, and maybe someone who's looking for a little bit more advice and tips in 2020, because a lot of the old stuff that we have learned is mostly towards the big stick approach of hard work and a lot of discipline to get your employees to do what you need them to do. But in 2020, and as we evolve in modern times, it actually has pivoted a little bit more into a more sustainable, healthy work environment where everybody enjoys going to work every day, but then you're also a strong manager, a strong leader, and I don't want your business to just start up again when the corona quarantine is over. I want it to thrive. I want everyone to go back to work and be successful, and so I have some tips for the managers out there to become a very strong manager. Okay, so the very first skill that you need to have that's absolutely essential is teamwork. I know as a restaurant manager that the front of the house, the back of the house, the servers, the cleaning staff, the bar, all need to work as a cohesive unit to get anything done, to execute ticket orders, to make sure food comes out on time, to make sure that the prep is done, to make sure things are cleaned properly, to make sure that we're following all the sanitation rules. We all have to work together, and if anybody falls out, then we all fall out, and that's kind of the system that you need to install to have everybody work together in one cohesive unit. And the most important thing, a lot of managers are pushing towards guests always come first, and always look out for your guests, which is true to a certain extent. It has now pivoted a little bit, and so now it is your employees always come first. They are your number one, your top priority as a manager, because how it works is it's a trickle effect. If your employees are happy and they love their job and they are getting paid well and they are treated fairly and they just love being there, then they will go above and beyond for guests. They will work really hard. They are proud of the work that they've done and accomplished, only sticking up the pillars of your establishment and pushing it forward to thrive. I know, and there's those people who come into work and they're just there to do their job. They punch in, they punch out, do exactly their qualifications, which is okay. There's people like that, but people who are inspired, who are proud to be there, to invite their family to the place where they work because they're really excited about the product and the quality and service that they have there, kind of spreads on to the guests, and they are willing to go above and beyond to solve problems, take initiative, look out for each other. It's developing that communication, that teamwork that is super essential for a manager to establish. It's called culture as well. It's like the hospitality and the business culture. How are you going to set that in your business to kind of make it a very awesome place to work? That's number one. Number two, as a manager in hospitality, is multitasking. I think it's very important that you need to establish all the things that you need to accomplish, and things that you can't, you need to delegate effectively, because at the end of the day, hospitality is nothing but putting out daily fires of like random emergencies, and someone called out sick, and so-and-so is not coming to work today, and we didn't prep enough, but they're ordering a catering order of 50x desserts. It's putting out those fires that come with the day-to-day basis, and so you need to be able to wear many hats and mop floors and run dishes to tables, or manage the books and all these different things. And so being able to multitask and not get overwhelmed is an absolutely essential key in the hospitality industry, because you and I both know that it's nothing but organized chaos. And so I think if you have a good foot and good grounding on how things are run, and you're very well prepared, that can really help you have a very smooth transition as a manager. Number 3 is flexibility. We hold up so many people on the day to day, and being flexible with our long, hard hours is key, because sometimes we're working overtime during the holidays, especially, is when we're the busiest. But that's also the time where we also want to spend time with our family and friends and our loved ones. But having that key flexibility and rotating employees so that they can have an opportunity to enjoy moments, but also keep our business afloat and get that income and revenue that we need to sustain ourselves for the year is also really important. So having that flexibility to move people around and also be willing to come in or stay later, come in early, and get those extra hours even though they're hard and long is key. Because if you have a strict schedule, it's kind of difficult. You're anyone who knows or works in a restaurant, when they say you leave at 3, sometimes it can be 3 or 4 if you get a rush and get a whole group of people coming into your establishment, but it's not like you can turn them away or anything like that. So having that flexibility to just really love your job and like push through those moments is part of it, and it's a really good skill to have to make you a strong manager. Number 4 is attention to detail. There's nothing more important than having an incredible guest experience, to providing that for them. It's the asset of seeing a guest's need and fulfilling it before they even ask or realize that they even need it. So it's those little details of noticing that it's a little girl's birthday and you bringing them out a dessert without them asking, or you realize that they have a large family and there's not enough towels in that room, so you automatically go up there and you bring them more towels and shampoo bottles or whatever that they need. It's realizing that they might also need an extra pull-out bed, and they didn't know that before because they're just entering the room, but you saw it ahead of time. It's fulfilling those needs before they even see it. It's a manager inside of noticing all the little details and noticing little problems that you can just make better. It's like a level of good to great to just soaring expectations, because it's so much easier to continue a loyalty with the guests if they already love your product, but it's so much harder to gain that from a new person. So just fulfilling those needs and having that insight is such an incredible manager skill that you can definitely practice working on, being more observant, noticing every detail, noticing the same person comes in for coffee every single day, just saying their name, hi, what's your name, can make a big difference for a lot of people, remembering their order, things like that. Number 5 is industry awareness. Businesses grow and change over time, as you and I both know, with coronavirus and everything going on. Restaurants and hotels are evolving, trying new things to kind of meet those new cleanliness expectations and things like that. So having that foresight and following trends and being aware of the culture, the environment around, to kind of either meet that or surpass that, is really important. If you've noticed, the restaurant industry has changed a little bit from takeout to more Uber Eats and all these other platforms where people can access their food and things like that, developing more catering for parties and packages and stuff like that. Also, it's having insight for events that are going on in your area. If there's a huge concert going on and a specific date, it's having those package deals for hotels, so that people who you know that they're going to stay, but if you can compete with your local other hotels and you have a package deal where if you stay 3 days it's a little bit cheaper than each individual day. It's just having that foresight, paying attention to the news, the environment around, to stay current, to stay updated, to be hip and cool, if you want to call it. It's just it's again matching the needs of the guests before they even ask or see it, but also bringing in revenue and highlighting your business and updating it with the times. Number 6 is time management. This is probably incredibly crucial as a manager because hospitality is organized chaos. There's people coming in, people coming out, getting a product, getting a service, with large families, with couples, with pets, with allergies, with all these different things. Like, you're going to be thrown with being put in situations that are going to change on the hour, on the day, and so it's best to stay on your toes and be able to manage your time effectively, especially like in the restaurant industry. If you know that like you're having a 400 lunch but then also a party, you need to make sure that there's enough prep, you need to make sure there's enough staff, backup staff, just in case someone calls out sick. It's like having those plans effective immediately. Hotels, you need to make sure that things are opened on time, the kitchen's ready, breakfast is ready for the guests, things of that nature. Obviously, events management and stuff like that. Weddings and events need to be run on time, and so it's very important to make sure that you're meeting all those expectations of guests because I don't know about you, but a lot of people do really dislike late service or poor service when it comes to time. And so just being on top of that, being early, planning ahead will really help with those little bumps in the road that come unexpected and very much naturally in the hospitality industry. Okay, so I'm going to combine 7 and 8 together because they're a little bit similar, and that's interpersonal skills and communication. I want to say that I said this a lot, that this is like the most important, but this kind of is the umbrella of the importance of like everything else. Like, effective communication can make or break you as a manager, and that's just the facts. Because the thing is, though, if you're a poor communicator, you're not going to be able to effectively run a business, in the sense that like your employees won't know what's going on, conflict disputes will just go way over your head, you won't know how to deal with HR or shipping supplies and suppliers and event managing. It's like all these different things, guest disputes and all these other core issues of hospitality. You need to be able to communicate effectively, clearly. You need to be able to delegate properly, especially when it comes to time management and things that need to get done just to run the day-to-day operations. Having those group meetings with employees and being very clear about your expectations and the standards that need to be met to have an effective running business, and then hold them accountable when they don't meet those things. But like I said, the big stick, the hot-headed boss phase is way past over. So now it's just time for, in 2020 and a modern hospitality industry, to effectively run employees and guests with very, very clear communication, just to be able to talk to them and relate to how they're feeling. Hospitality is so unique in the sense that you work with a diverse group of people every single day, with all kinds of different backgrounds, personalities, cultures, disabilities, whatever you want to call it. There's so many different ones, and so just being able to effectively communicate to each individual person uniquely to them, and be able to communicate what you need and expect from them, but then also to help them with any problems that they have. You need to be able to have good communication so that if they have any problem, that they can come to you, and so that you can address it, and you're a safe place for them to go to if they have any problems, to make sure that all the bumps are ironed out. You need to be that person, and you cannot be that person if you can't communicate, if you cause a lot of problems, if you have that hot-headed mentality where it's like you're pushing on the I'm a boss instead of I'm a leader. And there's a very clear distinction. And I know a lot of managers that needed to take, just basic HR classes to kind of fine-tune these skills, because these skills are kind of difficult to manage, because like I said, hospitality is full of chaos, diverse people, and so there's going to be a time where everybody's on the edge of their seat trying to get out of the weeds in the restaurant industry, trying to keep up with the demand, and it's high pressure for a lot of people. But you need to be able, as a manager, to smooth that over, bring your team together, calm them down, and get them to execute and work really effectively together. And so having that skill to just sit down, communicate, be very clear about what you need, what we could do better, having those talks could really help the culture of your whole industry. And the culture is kind of the glue that puts everything together. You can hire anybody with the skill sets that you need, but you can't replace the people who actually love working there, because they will outrun every single person who's qualified. Qualified is just one skill set. You can train anybody in the hospitality industry for skills. You can train anybody. Anybody can study your rule book. Anybody can study how to use a knife or play in an Excel sheet, but you can't teach people to care and to love the industry that they're working in, the people that they're working for. And so establishing that with clear communication is so vital and so important to having a really successful, excellent 5-star business, to having one that just kind of gets by, has okay service, and it's like a whatever sort of place to go. That's like the big distinction. So if you struggle with that, definitely research it, look into it, practice it, because we can all get better, work on it more, because we're always going to be caught in situations where it's a little bit more challenging than others. But if you can just master that skill above all of them, then everything can kind of fall into place. That is a very, very important skill. Okay, and that pushes me on to number 9, which is problem solving. This is a big one because it kind of ties in with micromanaging, and it explains why micromanaging is just not the way to go. Because the thing with micromanaging, if you put everything on your plate, you will never get anything done. It'll stress you out, and then it'll lead to a stressed out sort of management system where it's not the most effective. You hire people to help you delegate, help with your delegation with tasks that you need to just push on to other people and trust that they're going to do it properly. Because the thing is, though, you need to push the smaller projects and problems to other people so that they can handle it, because they're qualified and that's what you hired them for, so that you can handle the bigger day-to-day problems. Hospitality industry is putting out fires every single day. And so you, as a manager, need to be in the position to handle those problems. If someone comes up to you and is like, hey, there's a huge spill in the lobby, what do we do? Or, hey, so-and-so quit today, we need someone on satay. Hey, we need this, we need this, we need this. You need to be the person who can deal with the bigger problems and not micromanaging or doing all the little tiny problems that kind of come with it. However, there's a difference of just being like the leader who is like, okay, I need to do everything. If you see that your people are in the weeds and they need help and you are free to help them, definitely go down and be a dishwasher. You hold up the restaurant, you hold up your establishment, the hotel. So it's very important that you also work with them. So there's that distinction there. But on the bigger grand scheme of things, being a problem solver really goes into planning. There's like a phrase that goes like, poor planning leads to proper planning leads to poor execution, something like that. I will leave it somewhere down here, the actual code it goes. But basically, the better that you plan for problems to go wrong, if you need a plan B always as a manager, because you just never know what's going to happen. And just having that as a backup could really, really help you when you're on your toes on the day-to-day, and can make your life a little bit easier and can go a little bit more smoothly. Okay, and lastly is number 10. This should go really without saying, but it is the top priority as a manager, because this is like your job, and if crap hits the fan, it's all on you. This is very, 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 very important, and it's hazard awareness. There's nothing more important than safety before anything else. Just safety, 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 making sure everybody has their proper regulations, their certifications, food, temperature logs, spills, liabilities, dangerous equipment, all these things. Safety, 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 safety. Hazard awareness. As a manager, you need to have your eyes peeled for all those kind of emergencies. Fires from the grill, oil spills, literally everything and anything related to safety. Non-slip shoes, making sure the uniform is proper, all these different things are so, so, so important, because if you fail on any one of these things, you could just lose your entire business or establishment, because you can get sued, someone can hurt themselves, have a fatal accident, things like that. Guests can hurt themselves if you didn't get your chairs checked and leg peg falls off. Like, these are situations that happen on the day-to-day, but it's your job to make sure that your bartender's not overpouring or sending people home without calling them a ride and all these different things. These are all liabilities that it's your responsibility to make sure you are on your A game every single day, every time you're on the clock. Like, this is safety, safety, safety. If you learn nothing, okay, just as a quick recap, just in case you skipped to the very end of the video, as to be a good hospitality manager, there are just a few things that you really just need to keep in mind, and that is essentially hospitality is the service industry where you really love to take care of people. That's the baseline. Loving to take care of people, respecting people, giving them a service or a product that brings them joy, that goes above and beyond, that gives them an experience, that gives them a memory to take home when they leave wherever you are, whether that's a restaurant, a theme park, an event. It's giving them something that's either tangible, but most of the time it's just in their mind, like a very good memory of being there. That's what you're providing to them. So as long as you're doing that or working towards that, you're on the right track. And some people really lose sight of that. And I think the importance of being a really good, effective leader is just that, understanding that that's the foundation of your job. Like I said, all skills can be learned. So if you don't really know how to schedule properly yet or audit your daily tips and all these different things, that's okay. Those things can be learned. But at the end of the day, hospitality is the joy and bringing kindness to people, and you have to have that first. And also, it's having the flexibility to deal with the ups and downs and the chaos of what hospitality also brings. So you have to have a strong stomach. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it brought you a lot of helpful tips and knowledge. Please leave a comment below and tell me what hospitality industry you're in, and if you found this video helpful, or if you have any more questions or tips or advice that you want to see more out of but I'll see you next time. Bye bye.